So the most important thing that I wanted to do today is look, where is the thing? Yeah. So basically,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Neil.
My question, Anis, is on being able to compile a list of potential clients. I was just looking at my network, and I think there are people I can just look at them and I see they qualify as potential client, but there are people they don't qualify as potential client. So which mechanism do I go through to make sure that when I'm sending these messages, which criteria should I follow to determine if someone should be a potential client and I should send a message to them, or if someone should not be a potential client?
Yeah. Neil, that I think, is a very clear for us. So with your clients, right? So with your current connections, whoever you currently have, just simply send it to everybody. Okay, just simply send it to everybody a short message. No, don't send a long message. Just send a short message. By telling them, if they are potential, they will contact you. If they're not potential, at least they know about what you do. That's it. Okay. The thing is that no need to sit and do an analysis of whether somebody is good or bad. Okay, that is only for your connection. But let's say if it is not your connection, okay, then do not send to anybody. Okay, send only from this list. So because what I have done is I have taken the entire Kenya, okay, the whole of Kenya and all the potential clients, and I've listed all the 30,000 people here. And if you come here, I don't know whether you can see my screen, select your name, Nial, and press OK. You should be able to see all the clients that you want to connect in terms of potential clients. So starting with Collins, from the company Digital Nomad, to all these guys you have to connect. You have around 524. If you come to this particular thing, you can see this. You have 524 people that you can connect to, from the potential client list of Kenya. Okay, so only connect to this 524. Do not connect with other people, because it might disturb, somebody else's connection. Okay, I want this message to go only from one person at any point in time. So if it has gone from Paul, it should not go from you to the same person. Okay, that's why this list I have prepared, and I'll share this list with you, Niall. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, that's answer. Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure. So yes.
Yes, I also had another very funny question about the connections we are sending. My worry was on the market, the demand of these of the service that we are offering. Is there a way, like when we are targeting a country, because we should not. If there is, do we have indicator, something that tells us a trend that this thing is actually on demand on a particular country, so that we know when we go after client, we go on, we target a country that we know that actually this is something that is on demand based on a report or statistics or something, I was just trying to understand, like, do we think that this is something that the Kenyan audience or will is there demand in Kenya, or we have other countries that are actually, if we do the same exercise, the same campaign in those other places, we'll have, let's say,
Bahana,
3% or something success.
No, very good question. Very good question. I have already done that analysis, and here is the answer for the question. So we found 56 million people who we can reach out to, and then I reduced the 56 million to 26 million based on the years of experience, so that we reach out only to the senior people, and then I distributed them across all the countries. Can you see these countries? Can you see? So, and then after distributing the clients over here, we are starting with Kenya, which is here. Which is this one, which is a very small place with a very small audience, with a very small possibility of winning any client. However, the reason why I started with Kenya is because I wanted to give everybody a thorough practice. You should have mastered the art of sending the message, responding to the message, setting up the meeting, presenting in the meeting, preparing the deck for the meeting, so far, I think none of you have mastered this, the at least the last couple of things. If you do not master these steps, all the steps, not one step, right? I think all of you have mastered the messaging step, the first step, the second step. I think all of you have mastered it, no doubt about it. But you have not yet mastered what I'm going to teach today, how to make a slide deck, for a client. I don't think you have mastered it, and it needs to really, and then final step, you have to also present to the client yourselves. In today's everything, Keisha literally did 5 meetings for me in the last 2 weeks, and I have to be there in all the 5 meetings. And that's never going to work out when 5 meetings become 50 meetings or 500 meetings. We need to make sure that, everybody can do that. That's one. From Kenya, our next jump, Bahana, is going to be into the United States, where there are 10 million potential clients, and we'll have extreme, traction. I think it will be really good traction. That's my gut feel. So we can go to United States, we can go to UK, where there is more than 1 million, or we can go to Canada, where there is more than 600,000 potential clients. Or we can go to Australia, where there are 600,000 clients. Okay, these are the 4 top areas that we can go to, where the traction will be very, very high. But I do not want to go to these places until we have finished, our core country, Kenya, and have practiced as many times as possible. Okay, just to give one more example. Already, Ashma has started working on UK. She has sent around 500 connection requests to all the doctors and healthcare professionals in the UK. In fact, I can show you, a presentation we did to one of those, healthcare hospitals here in the UK. So we will definitely go from here. Did I answer your question, Bahana?
Yes, yeah, thanks, Anis. Yeah, also, Anis, can I have access? I mean, how do you create this map? Because I'm working on the slide deck for Area 9. So I would also want to, have a distribute the key buyers based on, on a map, something like this for illustration purposes.
Very, very easy, right? This is very easy. So you just, come edit the data here. Just copy the map, it's really nothing. It's really so easy to do this. See, that's it. United States, 10 million, United Kingdom, 1 million, that's all. You put whatever number you have and then close the map, the numbers will come here. That's it. You can literally, I have already shared this map with you, so you should be able to create this map anytime, right? So point is not about this, right? The point is, these are the 7 steps, and you guys are, I think, I don't think you have become very good in these things, right? Understanding, but these are just one-time things. Understanding client, converting story, video, etc. You have become really good in, maybe connecting the audience also. But what we want to do is, you have done all these things, and now the client is saying, okay, come and make a presentation to me, or come and tell me what do you do. Okay. In that case, what I advise everybody to do is, depending upon how much, I want you to, tell the story of StepUp. If they don't know anything about StepUp, really quickly. Okay, I have a deck for that, right? The story of StepUp deck. Just give me 1 second, right? So this is the deck for that thing. Again, I'm open to you. So Bahana and Niyal, or Jean-Marie, you can tell me. See, this is the slide deck, that I used to tell the story of, this thing, right? Just keep going, we started here, we talked to Kakuma, these are the leaders, we did social media marketing, we did all these things, we selected the tools, just very 5 minutes, you tell the story. This is the story, and finish it. And then after the 5-minute story that you've said, and then you tell them, this is how we can help you. I'll just show you a deck where, this is what we pitched for this client. Okay, the client was called Ramsay, Ramsay Healthcare. It's a hospital. It's almost like the world's largest, top 3 hospitals in the world. Okay, so when we present, look at the way I start for them, right? So what we will do is we'll work with the leaders of Ramsey, right? Ramsey is the name of the client, to demonstrate how we can make social media work for you. That's how I start. So, the client is Ramsey, and the top 3 things, and we have not even met the client. They have not told anything. Okay. This is based on our own research. The top 3 things is finding top talent for Ramsey. They're a hospital, so they need, doctors. Socialize Ramsey's unique, things across the community. Associate Ramsey's thought leadership across NHS. So these are the top 3, objective for Ramsey as a client. So this is going to be really difficult for you to do. But just even if you are able to do one thing, okay, that's good enough. The industry is healthcare. The channels they want to do is LinkedIn and Twitter. And I then look at who are the stakeholders in UK for Ramsey to connect. Okay, there are 410 healthcare. There are 410K or 410,000 healthcare professionals in UK, 25,000 consultant doctors in UK, 22,000 registered nurses, and 949 intensive care nurses. So this is the population of UK that the Ramsey Hospital can connect with to make an impact. Okay, and then I say I know all of these people by name. See, using my connection, where is this 410 people? Here, these are the people. Where are the 25,000 consultants? Here, these are the people. Where are the nurses? Yes, here. Where are the intensive care nurses? Here, right? So, and I also showed Twitter as well. In Twitter, you have to do these 2 things. What I'm trying to say is, look, Ramsey, we can identify your top guys. We can start connecting, with your top guys by following this step-by-step approach, right? And how do we do that? We are able to reach out to 10,000 potential stakeholders of anybody, of Ramsey or whatever, with a 30% engagement rate and a 3% conversion rate. I hope you guys understand what this means, right? If let's say, so Kisha has connected so far with 400, clients in Kenya, and he has got 150 people connecting back with him. That is roughly 30%, roughly. So that is what I mean by 30% engagement. If you connect to 100 people, 30 people are connecting back, and 3 people are becoming your client. That should be your ideal population. In fact, Bahana, this should also answer your question. This kind of a thing will never happen for Step Up in Kenya, correct? Because you gave the answer. It will never happen. If you reach out to 100 people in Kenya, maybe 30 people will connect back with you, but 3 people will not become your client. If that is the case, Kisha should have got 12 clients so far, because he's already connected with 400 people, right?
But, for sure.
But this metrics, okay, this metrics is your gold standard, okay? This is how it should work. If your product is very good, okay, the product you are selling is very good, or the service that you are selling is very good. If the people that you are reaching out are precise or targeted, okay, then you must get this kind of a result. Okay, maybe not 3%, maybe 2%, maybe not 30%, maybe 25%, but around this. For every 100 people you reach out to, at least 2 or 3 people should become your client. If that is not happening, there is something wrong in one of your steps. Are you with me? But look at the potential that I'm painting here. I'm saying with every single one of you, one refugee graduate, 40 messages per day, 800 messages per month, 10,000 messages per year, which means each of you can talk to 10,000 people on behalf of your client individually on one platform. You can maybe talk to another 10,000 people on Twitter, another 10,000 people on Facebook, possibly, if you work really hard. right? Which means each of you can, as a minimum, talk to 10,000 people. You can talk to more than 30,000 people individually. But I hope you are able to understand what I'm saying. It's really very powerful. Okay, when I show this message, many of the clients are really, because I asked them, for example, let's say the chief executive of this company that I'm talking to, right? I asked them, how many people do you individually talk to in a typical year? In 2019, how many people you spoke to from LinkedIn? Maybe 20 people. How many people did you speak in 2020? Maybe 100 people individually. Nobody ever speaks to 10,000 people, using their LinkedIn. You understand, guys? So this is extraordinary power for them in terms of what they can help, achieve through you, right? So all these slides, any questions, guys? See, these first 6 slides is what you need to prepare for every new client. So this client is Ramsey. Okay, this slide, okay, let me start with again. This is the first slide. There is nothing in this simple, introduction. Ramsey is your client. So just 4 lines here. Then how do you prepare this one? You prepare this by going to the LinkedIn Sales Navigator and preparing this one. How many, potential clients are there? I think this is an important one. For example, Keisha, the only person who can prepare the slide for a new client is Bahana or probably Nial or Joel. Most of you will not be able to prepare this slide because you do not have access to Sales Navigator. Without Sales Navigator, you cannot prepare this message. Is that clear, Keisha and Yomari? Like, okay, let me take let me take an example, and then because that 410K came from this particular Sales Navigator thing. You do not have access to the Sales Navigator. Bahana, you should be able to do this with your eyes closed, correct? If I tell you, if I tell you, Bahana,
I'm actually doing it right now for Area 9, and I've done the slide, getting the information, and I'm now I just need to get the global audience and segment them into by countries.
Yes, exactly. So get the global audience, segment them by country, segment them by industry. Okay, in fact, we can do that also. Yeah. So industry segmentation and country segmentation are the 2 best way to know. See, I didn't know what to do for a hospital in the UK. Okay, so I just did this. This itself was good for them. But so if you look at it, it is only these slides we need to prepare for clients. For 1 slide, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. That's it. So any new client you are meeting, you are preparing just these 5 slides. That's it. Okay. After that, it's the same slide that you are. Can you?
I had a question, but go ahead.
Okay. So no, you asked the question. No, I can wait.
Okay. Yes, my question is on the client desk. Which you're just showing us how you did it for the healthcare organization. Or just wondering, different organizations have different needs that are not the same. So how do we navigate that? Like, when we have presentation for different clients, do we adapt, the client desk every single time you meet a new client, or we use the same one?
Yeah, no. So that you have to adopt it. So in fact, we will see that right now. We will, do it for a few clients right now because, because it's important, right? You have to prepare these 5 slides every time. These 5 slides has to be, different numbers, different objective, different people, different segmentation. It can't be these 5 slides have to be different, okay, for every new client. So if you do not know their objectives, read their website. It will become very clear, what is their objective. For example, this particular hospital never told me what is their objective, but I read their website and came to know that their main thing is to hire top doctors into their hospital, right? So that is why I put here in their objective something like this: find top doctors for Ramsey. That's the only big objective. The others are okay. Okay, so you have to just read their website or do something and do some research and find it. But once you have done that, guys, okay, so you have the first 9 slides is what you need to do. But even in this 9 slide, 7, 8, and 9, you don't have to do anything. It's the same slide. Okay. So honestly, all you have to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Just 5 slides you have to prepare for every new client. Yeah. Remember that. Huh? Now, after doing this, right, you have to pitch this particular thing. Okay. But just to give you an example, the steps that we follow, let us take, StepUp.one as a client. Okay. So the way you're going to explain this, Nihal, Bahana, is you say we got trained in this method. Once we, which method? This method. Okay. So we all got trained in this 7 steps approach. Once we finished that training, we all became, StepUp.one became our client, our first client. Okay. And the rest of these slides is we are going to demonstrate how we delivered the results for StepUp. You understand this? Bahana, Keisha, I'll pause here. This is the pivotal thing I'm trying to do, right? You trained first, and then then the first client you got was StepUp. Okay. And what did you do for StepUp? You did exactly the same thing. You started by understanding who StepUp is, right? Obviously, you know that already, but here is the understanding. 2, you explored all the key content, in the website, social media, how good is StepUp, how bad is StepUp, you use all these 5 things to analyze everything about StepUp. Okay. Then you looked at all the videos that StepUp has already created in their website, YouTube, everywhere. Okay. Here is the video that StepUp had created. Then, one second. Okay. Then you analyze their social media. It looks like, it looks like, Twitter is really good. LinkedIn is very bad. Facebook is very bad. Instagram looks like it's growing really well. Okay. But this is a 2-minute analysis of that, right? It's clear that StepUp is focused on Twitter. This focus is giving them a lot of credibility and visibility. But it will never give them, clients. It will just keep on giving them credibility and visibility. However, StepUp.one's potential buyers are mainly on LinkedIn. So we need to change our, engagement on LinkedIn. So this is your analysis about StepUp. Okay. This is how you will analyze your future client. Okay. I hope this is clear, guys. If anybody has any question, just stop me and ask me. Okay. Don't let me, continue if you have any questions. So what did you do? You looked at.
Yes, I have a question on this.
Yes, Nihal. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is still on the client desk. I don't know how long did it take you to present it to the healthcare organization? Because I was just looking at elevation pitch and how fast you need to be able to pitch your ideas to a potential client who might have like very little time. So when you went through the client desk, is it something that you think is adaptable? Like we can do it in 1 minute, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, or it needs a lot of time to be able to do that?
That's a very, very, very good question, right? That's why, in fact, this is a brilliant question, Nihal. Previously, my slide deck was starting here, okay, and I had how many slides? 39, 40 slides. Okay, I had 40 slides to present to every client. Then I realized I need something that I can hit them with in 5 minutes. Okay, so that's why the presentation is in 2 parts. Slide number 2 to 7 is what you really need to present, or 9. 2 to 9 is what you really need to present. And honestly speaking, it is only 3, 4, 5, 6, that you need to really present. Okay, so you should be able to present this within 60 seconds. Okay, let me show you how. So you say that we have StepUp.one. We did a very quick analysis of Ramsay, and we found out that your top objective is finding the top doctors in the UK and recruit them for yourself. We did a quick analysis on LinkedIn to figure out, what's your playground looks like in the UK. You got 410 healthcare professionals, 25,000 consultants, 22,000 registered nurses, and 949 specifically named intensive care nurses. Which I am just demonstrating how I found those numbers through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We know exactly the name, position, where he lives of every single healthcare professional in the UK, as you can see on the left-hand side. We also know the 25,000 consultants in the UK, and we can talk to each one of them separately. We also know the nurses and the intensive care nurses. We can also talk on behalf of you on Twitter as well as this. We follow a step-by-step approach to solve your problem so that the conversation is very clear. We use the same 7 steps, whether it is LinkedIn or Twitter. We are able to connect with more than 10,000 potential clients of Ramsey in a year with a 30% engagement rate and a 3% conversion rate. That's been our thing. Obviously, it will change, once we baseline, where you are. Thank you. This is it. If you think this is our pitch,
that's much clear and excellent. Thank you, Anis.
Yeah, it's it. That's 7 slides and you're done, right? Then if they say, oh, how do you do this? Can you explain these 7 steps? Or, oh, this is intriguing, I want to know how the hell did you do this? This is like too good to be true. Then you say, okay, here is, one of the clients for whom I can share the data, everything is StepUp. I started the same thing for StepUp. We start by understanding your objectives. We try to, consume all the content sources that you have. We looked at all your videos. This slide is always going to be tricky to move, actually. I don't know why. Next. Okay. We analyzed your social media. We looked at your entire, value chain. You have 4 things. You onboard people, you train people, you find jobs. Finding jobs is your biggest problem, right? That is what we are trying to solve. Finding jobs is your biggest problem, we are trying to solve. We also looked at your industry and the key players in the industry. We analyzed your competition and how they are doing marketing in social media. We try to, understand what you are selling or marketing. We try to reframe your pitch from being a cheap, newly trained refugees to this. We, come up with the first message. We come up with a longer proposition. We, convert that into a video, right? Then we identify the target audience. This I've already shown you in the previous one, but this is the target audience for StepUp as a company. And this is how we go ahead and identify them. And then we distribute them, into the world where these target audience are. 10 million people are in US and 1 million people are in India. Then we decide, okay, where are we going to go first? Is it going to be the US or is it going to be, Australia, right? And then we do a simple calculation to find out, okay, in USA there are 10 million people, and if one person can connect to 10,000 people, okay, I need at least 1,000 people. I need 1,000 people to connect with all the 10 million potential clients in the first year. This is just a simple mathematics just to show that, look, guys, if you have 26 million, potential clients, and if you want to connect to each and every one of them in 1 year, you need 2,600 people, correct? But obviously, we are not going to sell, or we are not going to tell you that, please come and hire 2,600 people, from our team, on day 1. Instead, we are going to tell you, just hire one of us. Just hire one of us in year 1, right? Every month, we will contact 1,000 people for you at a cost of $100 per month. We will make sure that, around 30% are engaging back with you. This differs from industry to industry, but right now, based on data that we have collected, based on Keisha's data, based on my data, based on Ashma's data, based on, Bahana's data, 30% are at least connecting back. Okay. And this is a big problem. 3% are converting to real customer. It may not be 3%. It could be, even 1% or even 0.5%. We do not know this percentage for every new customer that we have, but this is an ideal percentage. Okay. If 30 people are connecting back, and if 300 people are connecting back and 30 people are, buying us our services, we will make $3,000 in revenue. Okay. What does this mean? You spend $100 per month, you make $3,000 in revenue. Okay. So if you are able to achieve this, you may not be able to achieve this in the first month. You may not be able to achieve this in the second month. But let's say you achieve this particular equation in the 6th month after you started with, let's say, Geometry. Then you say, wow, we have done the stage, right? Let's move to the next stage, which is this. You can hire 10 people from our thing, okay? And ask all the 10 people to connect with 10,000 customers every month at a cost of $1,000 every month, engaging 3,300 and making 30,000. When you make this row, then you move to the next one and hire 100 people. When you achieve this 100, you move to next row, hire 1,000 people. When you achieve this, hire 2,600 people. All I'm trying to say is, we start with one. I mean, that's all we want to do. But look at the scale that we can really go to. If we can prove that, the first row is true, then we can ask our client, say for example, Bahana, if somehow you can, prove to, Kuram that, you have achieved some engagement and some conversion, you can demand, from area 9 to hire another 10 more people. You can actually demand, correct? Because you have achieved the first line. So that's the idea behind this one. No, we do not want to keep on telling, oh, hire one people here, hire another person. We want to basically say, hire one of us. If the day we are able to achieve this equation, then hire the next 10. That's the idea of this slide. And even if you don't hire the next 10, this is how we are going to do at StepUp. We are going to have 2,600 people to focus on the potential clients, the 26 million potential clients of StepUp every year. That's how we are going to do it. And how that happens, you already know, and we are repeating it again. We select the connection message, you already know this. We send it to that person, we already know this. We send the second message when the person gets connected back. We set up the first meeting. And what do we do in the first meeting? We present this set of slides. We prepare this slide and we present it back, to them. The first 5 slides, if you only have 5 minutes, the next 50 slides, if you have, 1 hour. Then we try and listen for feedback. The client could say, no, you completely got it wrong. We do not want to hire doctors. We want to actually, get more patients. Right? We are not keen on hiring doctors. We are very, good with that. We want you to, or they might say, we want you to create 100 different videos for each specialty. Can you help create 100 different videos? The objective of the client could be anything. It need not be just to hire doctors. So listen to the client. What does the client want to really, take feedback on whether your decks makes any sense, right? Change your ideas based on the client feedback, right? Make changes then and there. If you have Sales Navigator, while the client meeting is going on, if you have access to Sales Navigator, you go to Sales Navigator then and there, like this, right? Just go to Sales Navigator and basically say, oh, you're saying, that's not how it's going to work. How is it going to work? Let's look at it. Let's change the things. Just keep working with the Sales Navigator to change the conditions and, show it to the client. Oh, is this your target audience? Is this who you want to talk to? Right? Make the meeting, into some kind of a conversation, right? And show it to the client through Sales Navigator, how it will work in real. If you remember my first meeting with Buckchicks, go back and look at the video. They got really shocked, in the very first meeting. We are able to, in 10 seconds, we are able to identify the top clients of Buckchicks and show them these are the people that you need to reach out to. In 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, right? And when you are done with the first meeting, the most important step, right? Help the client sign up for your service then and there. If they say, great, super, I want to hire you. I want to do this with you at least for a month. Take them to the website, make them click on your name, make them hire you right then and there. Because people are always struggling, later on, so it's always a good practice to finish the meeting and, end the meeting with a hire, or at least show them this is where you go and hire us, right? And then every month you report back with a report. Bahana has been doing it for years now, so this is how you report back. In the month of January, I was the only one who's working for you. You gave me 43,000 people. I have sent 1,000 people, 300 connected back, and 30 is in conversation with you. If you look at this, right, I'm not saying, converted. I'm only saying conversation, because in most of the cases, people just want conversation. Conversation is equal to conversion as far as they are concerned. Okay. Let's say, like, if you take Ryan, Ryan is selling, $1 million deals, right? So he does not expect Bahana to close the $1 million deal for him. Correct, Bahana? He expects you to, set up a conversation for him so that, he can close the deal, from his end. Whereas for Step Up, we are selling a $100 product, a $100 service, right? When you sell a $100 service, you should be able to come and close the deal right here. You're not selling a $1 million service. Whereas a Ryan or a Area 9 president, he's selling a $1 million deal. When you're selling a $1 million deal, he does not expect you to, send, connect, a conversation, and also set up the first meeting and also do the closing of the deal. No, he did not. All he wants you is to set up the meeting and, pass the conversation back to him. That's it. That is conversion for you. Is this clear? I'm sure this should be clear. I'll pause here, guys. Do you guys have any questions? But does it make sense?
Yeah, it's clear, Anis. But my question was: do we target connection together with turning the potential clients to just to buy from us, or do we first target once? Maybe once we are connect, we can start engaging with the conversation. Then we can maybe have all those things.
I'm not sure I get the question correctly. Maybe you can just put it on the chat channel also, Jean-Marie. But what you're asking is, what do you do first, right? Think of this. Your entire life from now onwards. On one side, you will be continuously connecting with potential clients of Step Up and getting more and more clients. That is your one side. That will never stop in your life. Until you maybe never able to do job, right? That's one side. The other side is, okay, now let me explain this side is, one side you will work for yourself for the rest of your life. How? You will continuously keep finding new clients for you. Okay. The other side, you work for a client, just like Bahana, Niyal is working. You guys will work for a client, and maybe the next client, and then the next client. You will never be able to work for more than 2 or 3 clients at the same time. We already know this. So you should not try and be greedy and try to work for many clients. That's basically wrong. So what you have to do, you have to start training more people under you, right? Bahana has already started doing that. You have to train 3, 4, 5 people under you and start giving them the jobs that you start getting, so that you can expand your horizon to more than 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 clients. Right? I'm assuming that each of you should be able to have at least 50 clients, if you go in the right direction, right? And you should be able to handle 50 people under you, right? 50 youth that you can, go and figure out, right? That's the thing. So you always work for Step Up. Step Up will be your lifelong client, okay? And what is the result of that? You keep on getting, new clients. So by when I say you work for Step Up, actually you're working for yourself, right? You're not working for Step Up. You are basically working for yourself, and you're getting more and more clients for yourself. The other side, what is the right hand side? The right hand side is you're working for an Area 9 or Ryan or Kuram or Sheila or so you're always working for another client who's actually paying money to you. You understand? So Step Up is finding you jobs, so that and the clients are actually giving you money. So these are the two sides of the equation that you need to continuously balance right throughout your life. If this goes successful, and in a meaningful way. Is that clear, guys? What do you think? Niyal, Bahana, I think I hope it's clear now, right?
Yes, this is much clear. Thank you.
Okay. So the next step is okay, you good. Shamari, you asked the same question, and now can you tell me, guys, what could be the problem? Can you tell me where is the problem? Where is the biggest problem? What I think is, if you go back to the 7 steps. Sorry, 1 minute. I'll just go back to the 7 steps. Where is the biggest problem for you to scale? Okay, these are the 7 steps, right? If you look at StepUp itself, we have these lists. At least for Kenya, we've got this list. I'm preparing this list for US. It's 10 million people in the US. So it's going to take me a long time to prepare that. But it was, very good number in Kenya, so I was able to do it, and I've already distributed the number. Now, so Bahana, I want to ask you this question, right? Because you have done this, so many times. There are more than 3-4 clients working. So of these 7 steps, right? What is your biggest, trouble? Like, where do you think it's like very difficult for you to do this? Or anybody can answer, right? Of these 7 steps, where is the biggest problem right now? Anybody? I mean, Shamari, Kisha, Bahana. Where is your problem?
Hi, Anis. Hello?
Yes, Bahana, I can hear you.
Yes, good. Thank you so much for the question. I think all the 7 steps for me, I think I'm okay with all the 7 steps as for now. But I only have challenge with step 2, converting the story into a storyline. I'm not a good let me say I'm not good at I'm not a good writer, and so that's something. I'm always a man behind the scene. That's how I work. Like I don't. So writing for me, so I'm a technical person. So that's what my problem. Is, but all these other things, I can do all these other things without problem. But I can work together with a client to come up with this story, but I can't do it on my own, as in from scratch, and have a whole story, because
Bahana,
so,
I want to this in fact, I want to give you this quickly. There is this thing. I think you need to go on mute, I think, Bahana. Sorry. So just quickly, while Bahana, I'm answering this question for Bahana. So what I've done, Bahana, if you go to my, the course page, I have created 2 videos just for this problem. Okay. Go through this, it is there in the scenario 1. I think I should try to, make it very clear. If you go here, there are 2 videos just for that alone, how to write a story. Okay, not how to convert the story here. Okay, how to convert objectives to a story. You get this? If you look at this thing, how to write the storyline before creating the video. Okay, it's a good 1 hour presentation. Have a look at it. Okay. It just walks step by step. Then once you have done that, then how to create those videos is another thing. Okay. Hopefully you should be able to browse and be able to. And then I have given 4 examples. Client that we created for Lifeline, the one that we created.
Creating the video, and the whole architecture around it, I have no problem with that. I can create a video. I know how to bring in images based on the video content, how to bring in, the visuals, the flow. even the, like the whole scenario. I mean, like Lumen 5, I think I've mastered this. We've made several trainings on this. Yeah. So, but my major problem is on the, the
storyline.
The storyline, yes. Okay. That's where the problem is.
Just then watch only this. Watch only this. You look at what I'm saying, right? The story is the story is the most important thing in the video creating process.
All right.
This is a workshop we conducted on how to come up with a story, how to break it down, how to time it, and when to move fast and when to move slow. And most importantly, how to finish it with a clear set of actions that people can take. It is okay to end with a question as well. It is okay to raise a question and end it if you don't have a clear action. You don't always need to be clear action to take. You can help people find the problem. So this is the 2-hour video that you need to watch, or a 1-hour video. I don't remember, but this is something that I did with all the people some time ago. So have a look at it. But Bahana, I mean, this is also, honestly, this may not be a big problem, because many clients, right, will provide you that answer. Maybe they will just simply say, guys, I'll give you this video. I have created 5 videos already. I'll give you this video. You only start with this. Identify the audience, tell them the message, create conversation, hand it back to me. You understand what I'm saying? So, that could be the thing, right? But honestly speaking, Bahana and others also, according to me, the toughest step is identifying the target audience. The toughest step, or rather, it's not even the tough one. If you show a client, if you show a potential client, how will you go about identifying their target audience? In the very first 5 to 10 minutes after you start the conversation, you will almost always win the thing. You don't even show them all these PPT, everything. If you simply show them how you will identify their target audience, they will be shocked. Okay, and I want you to go and literally see how that happens. Okay, so if you go to again back to our courses, if you go to the course, if you go to the same scenario, the first scenario, and then if you go to the client and just show you where I have done that for a few clients. So see here, you see understanding client objectives, right? So I just while trying to, yes, Jomari.
Yes, I've shared my challenge on chat.
Yeah, okay. Let me just go, look at it. So Bahana and Niyal, this is the first ever meeting I had with Buckchicks. Okay, it's a 30-minute meeting. Okay, just go and play this meeting, and then I'm just going to mute it. Okay, just see what I did, in the first meeting. Okay, so this is my first meeting, right? In the first meeting, I don't know okay, wait, this is 7 minutes. Look at, I didn't even present anything to them. 6 minutes, I don't know, wait, 1 second. I didn't present anything. Within the first 7 minutes, I showed them how I will go about identifying, their client, their target audience. Within the first 10 minutes, right? You can see it here. I have already started, showing them how I'm going to do it. Their reaction was just unbelievable. They are really, look at this. The next, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I didn't move from the screen. Can you see this? I mean, honestly, still going on. Basically, we never left this thing. We never left this one screen for the next 30 minutes. So the point I'm trying to make is, you can obviously present these slides, because you don't have anything else right now. Because today, I don't think, Jean-Marie or Kisha has mastered the art of, Sales Navigator, because they don't even have access to Sales Navigator. So they have to use these slides, to present and, make a pitch. But for Bahana, Joel, Niall, who have access to Sales Navigator, you guys, don't even need this pitch. You can just open the Sales Navigator and start identifying the target audience right when you're meeting with a client. It's a straight away, they'll sign you up. Okay, so that's my quick, feedback on that. Let me just quickly see what Jean-Marie has written. Okay, I was asking if we can target both connect. Okay, this is clear. 6 stage is a bit tricky for me. Sometimes convincing a person is not easy. Oh, okay. Okay, so basically we are talking about, which stage is that? 6th stage, which is, conversation. Yeah, I think, the only way you can, make this easy is by preparing this deck, right? Because then, you are simply just putting this deck out and, just going through, here's what I think, here is your target audience, here is how we can help, we follow a step-by-step approach. Because then you're simply, what are you doing? You're simply reading these slides, right? And that should not be very difficult, right? Even if you're not a biggest orator in Kenya, that's okay. You're just, so that's why these, slides are there to make the conversation as easy as possible. But you have to remember one thing. You have to truly understand what this deck is all about, or, what is the message of Step Up and what is the approach of Step Up and how are we actually delivering it in real life. You have to understand that truly. Otherwise, you'll not be able to answer the client's questions. Right? I think that's really, really important. It is not English you should be worried about. You can talk the worst English that is possible. That nobody ever has a problem with that. But you should understand each of these steps, and you should be able to explain each of these steps to them, clearly. You don't need to speak good English for it. The deck is there to help you, bring clarity. So don't worry about that, but work hard to understand what you are trying to do. These 7 steps, and each step understanding is more important than good English or good conversation. No, you show this slide. That's it. Most of the clients immediately get it. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. I think, I don't know how to, maybe with Bahana or somebody, I can teach you how to do this, identifying the target audience. Maybe we'll look at it next week, because this is the most important thing, but unfortunately, I cannot teach you that unless, you have access to Sales Navigator. In order to get access to Sales Navigator, you need your first client, right? So it's a chicken egg problem, but don't worry about it. At least, these guys should be able to help you, and, we'll get there when it, otherwise you should be able to use this deck. So any questions on this? Like, any questions on how to do this, etc., etc. I think Bahana is the wrong person to ask for this challenge, but even Bahana has done this for 2 years. I know that he will have a challenge. I definitely know that he will have a challenge, to execute all 7 steps. And obviously his challenge was, writing, but it can be overcome, because we are not writing, history and, autobiography. We are writing a simple story, so it should be okay. But for Jean-Marie and Keisha, I think it will be a very different challenge, because you guys are just starting, right? So it is going to be a different challenge. Hey, Shabnam, I didn't notice that you are here. Thanks for coming in. Good to have you always. Yes, Keisha, you're typing. Okay, what is the problem? As for me, when it comes to practical in meetings and execution, we will be the expert. We will simply need some practices. Okay. Yeah. No, I think, your practice is what you're doing with Step Up. That is your practice, right? We taught you. It's all here. All your lessons are here. Just keep going back to these lessons and, visit every single one of them to learn it, guys. So it's very important. Number 1. So go back to these lessons. Number 1. Number 2, you are practicing for step up. Every one of these 7 steps, you are doing it for step up. So, that is the best practice, which is what you're doing every day. The only problem with that is, maybe, honestly, what I have done is I have done the first step, second step, third step, and the fourth step. Correct. I already did all these 4 steps and given it to you on a platter for step up. Unfortunately, correct. Maybe you can make a different one. Maybe you can make a different story. You can make a different video, right? You can play along with your target audience, etc., etc. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think if you are able to present using these slides, I'll share the slide deck with you so that you're able to present it to your potential clients yourself. I'll be there in most of the first meeting so that you get a sense of how I presented, and then you can just repeat it for your next set of clients. And once you have access to Sales Navigator, I think you should be able to do this yourself. You really don't need anybody, because your screen will start talking louder than your words, right? When you show them the Sales Navigator screen. All right, that's pretty much it. I'll just pause this for any questions, any comments, any other ideas.
Thank you.
Is it clear, Bahana, what to do? I think
yeah, it's clear from here.
Okay, cool. Bahana, I have a question, right? There are quite a few clients who have come. So, for example, if I share this deck with you, okay, the deck that I'm talking about, you will be able to easily prepare this kind of a pitch for Area 9 as a company, and Intro Hive as a company, and even maybe Luba somehow. Will you be able to make 3 separate slide decks for these 3 clients?
Yes, I've already started. I've already started with Area 9. Probably by tomorrow evening or next tomorrow, I'll share with you, so that you can go through it.
Excellent. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So even Bahana, if you just do the first 10 slides, right, for each client, that's good enough. You don't have to change anything in the next
no. Okay. I'm not changing anything from the step up side.
Yeah, just the first 7 or 8 thing, and I'll share this deck with you so that it's easy for you to do this for and when you're doing it, don't do it for individual, do it for Area 9 as a company, do it for Intro Hive as a company, and do it for the World Bank or AFC as a company. Okay, so that it is clear to them that it is not for them, it's for everybody. Okay, number 1. Okay, now Jean-Marie and Keisha. So Jean-Marie, will you be able to do this 7 things for, let me say, who's the next set of clients, they're literally waiting for us, guys, right? For example, yesterday I had a meeting with these guys, Eat Off Beat. This is an amazing startup, and I don't know how you will be amazed. Okay, so this guy, kept calling me, this chief operating officer, for almost 2 weeks, and I only had a chance to meet him yesterday, and he told me that this is his company. He and his sister, they both were refugees, Manal and Visram. But they went and they are now settled in New York City. They started this company called Eat Off Beat, where they cook and serve food to different, like for example, Sri Lanka, Senegal, Afghanistan, Iran, Syria, Venezuela, and Iraq. So these are the chefs from different countries, and they cook different recipes, and sell meal boxes, a classic meal box or a vegan meal box in the city of New York. Okay, And he was saying, look, I'm really, really interested in, working with you, because my ambition is, I want only refugees to be a part of my entire team, so all their chef is refugees, who come to New York. And he was saying, I want my entire digital marketing, all my team has to be, refugees, because that's my, ambition. So he kept on, and I asked him, how did he, how did he really, who told him about Step Up? Right? That was really interesting, right? Who told about Step Up? So I told you, right? Ashma had started reaching out to, so Ashma is a doctor in the UK. So she started reaching out to all the doctors in the UK as potential clients. So apparently, one of these doctors is a friend of, the founder of Eat Offbeat. So he had actually, put our thing, and this guy has contacted me. So the point I was trying to make is, I don't know, how people make connections, from where they go. We should just keep on trying, right? So, for example, for Eat Offbeat, what can we do? It's a very tough question, right? But then he himself, came with an answer, because I told him, I don't know how I can help you reach out to the citizens of New York, right? Because that's a very tough thing for me to do. How do I reach out to all the citizens of New York and ask them to buy a meal? It's not easy, right? I can reach out to all the doctors of New York. That's possible. But I cannot reach out to every guy, who wants to buy food, right? That's like a impossible proposition. So then he said his biggest business is catering, and catering to the businesses. And then he also said one thing amazing, right? He said, in 2020, there has been a huge number of, people who are gifting food, these kind of food to doctors. So you could be somebody in New York, but you buy this food and gift it to the frontline workers in New York, or frontline doctors in New York. So it's almost like a three-way thing. He said that is really, working, and you can help us in that. So he wants to become a client, and he said, I want to talk to you, find out how to do this, etc., etc. So there is this one client. So take a look at this, guys, and see if you can prepare a slide. So that is one. The second, so I'll send you all the details so that you don't have to do it, right? The second one, so Jomari, I wanted you to do this, this one, Fryer Solutions. So this is a global regulatory company. I'll send again, these ones. So they want to, they are basically, doing something around regulatory stuff. For example, it's a very difficult one to explain, but if I explain it in simple words, if somebody has come up with a new medical device, they help getting approval for that medical device in that respective country. So in the US, it is FDA, which will have to approve it. In the UK, it is, MHRA. In the Europe, it is European Medicines Agency, which will approve it. In India, it will be different. So they have a 1,000-people team, which helps people approved. So basically, I spoke to the founder of this company. He said, look, he is keen to get our service to reach out to the people. So I just showed him this, and he said, yeah, let's do it. So for example, I came here. I asked him, who's his market? He said, let's take US, right? The US is his biggest market. Let's say United States. Oh, what happened? So United States. Oh. Something is wrong. One second. So what I'm trying to show you right now is, how do I go? But if Fryer Solution is a client that you are trying to pitch to, we can basically say, United States. Yeah, we want to pitch to all the people in the United States, and we want to pitch in the industry called medical devices. You see, medical devices. So there are 670,000 people in the US who deal with, medical devices. obviously we don't want to pitch the idea to every single guy in the medical devices world. We want to, so he gave me this idea. He said, look at how big the company is, right? For example, company headcount. If the company is more than 10,000 people, which means it's a very large medical devices company, right? And that's why, you know, so I want to pitch it to all these roles. Okay, so he said, you know, anybody with a title regulatory. Okay, just I'll put regulatory, that's it. Anybody whose title has a regulatory or something, you know, there is 3,500 people. What he said, okay, can you just introduce who we are? We are FREYR Solutions. We help medical devices get approved in the United States. We have 600 clients so far, and here is our approach. Have a look at our video. That's it. And then send it to all these 3,500 people. He was like, this is amazing, you know, because so far they never thought like this. And how much time did it take for me to, you know, do this? Like 2 minutes, right? I now know the 3,500 most important people in United States in the industry medical devices working for a company that's more than 10,000 people. You know, you don't need any more slides. You don't need anything to convince this guy anymore. That's it. You know, in 2 minutes, you, by showing the screen, you have already convinced him. These are the people that you need to send messages to in order to, you know, talk about your product or a service. And then once you have finished this 10,000 people headcount, go to the next 5,000 people to 10,000 people headcount. You know, companies that are smaller than, you know, there are 552 people. Finish these people. Then you go to the next one. You know, 1,000 to 5,000. There are 1,000 people here. Then you go to the next one, and then you finish everybody in the United States. Move to the next country. So what I'm saying is, you know, if you're building something for this guy in medical devices, you know, for the word regulatory, okay, in United States itself, there are 8,500 people doing this regulatory job. Globally, across the globe, there are more than 18,000 people. So I can basically tell him, so he's got 3 divisions, right? You know, he told me he's got 3 main divisions. I don't know where to find that, but it should be somewhere here. You know, yeah, so pharma, yeah, this is the one, yeah, exactly. Pharma, medical devices, cosmetics. So each one of them. So right now I'm focused only on this one, right? I can then go to cosmetics, then go to food, you know, and then I can show him the same thing. So basically, I don't know, Bahana, this is something, you know, you should be able to do it like cakewalk, right? What am I trying to do here, right? I'm trying to, for FREYR Solutions, I'm trying to work out, you know, his thing. Where am I looking? I'm looking at his own, you know, thing. I'm basically telling him, you know, that he's got all these different, you know, industries. And for each industry, I'm going to find them, you know, if I, this is medical devices. If I go to, I don't know, cosmetics is going to be there or not. Yeah, it is there. Wow, unbelievable. It's like, so if I remove the same thing, so how many people in cosmetics in regulatory must be oh my goodness, 2,000 people. That's it. It's not a lot at all. And the magic for this is regulatory. If I remove the word regulatory, there'll be 2 million people. Yeah, you see, that's the thing, you know, because I'm searching for only the people who are in the world of regulatory compliance, 2,000 people are coming. So, so for each one of his industry, we can identify, and then we can tell him, you know, dear founder of, you know, FREYR Solution, there are more than 410,000 buyers for you globally, 25,000 buyers for you in the US. And then say 10,000 in cosmetics, 900 in medical devices. You guys understand where I'm going with this, right? I don't know. I mean, I hope you guys get it, right? So that's the thing. So
I'm getting it.
You're getting it? Okay, good. So this is the second client. You know, the first client we saw was, you know, Eat Offbeat. You know, I haven't told you how to do this, but let me try Eat Offbeat, right? You know, this is going to be very, very difficult for me also to do because it's a tricky one, right? So New York. So they are a food business, right? they are not going to be able to serve to the entire state of New York. They will be able to serve only, they have to serve the food. They have to actually have the food carried in a car and given it to them. So there are 8 million people living in New York, New York metropolitan city. And honestly, every one of them, can order food. I don't know how to, narrow this down, right? Because all these guys are living in New York and all of them should eat. Every day they're eating 3 times a day. I don't know how to, if there is any way, I don't know. I really don't know how to narrow this down. Any thoughts?
Is there any proximity kind of a thing you can use, like nearer to their place?
They are in Long Island. Their kitchen is in Long Island, but they said, they can serve anybody within the city of New York, because they take 24 hours to prepare the meal. So it is always need to be ordered 1 day in advance. The meal is always prepared fresh on the day, served cold, and then the people can keep the meal for almost 10 days, it seems, because it's not like one meal. They are serving like 10 different varieties, and these people can eat for 10 days apparently. So just imagine, during a lockdown, this could be very, very interesting, right? People are all locked up, and you are getting food cooked by refugees, right, from 10 different countries in a lovely box, right? It is quite a interesting value proposition. And imagine, guys, each package is some $100, okay? Each packet. Just imagine the power of our proposal, right? If we sell 5 packets, we have already covered his cost of $100 he's spending with us. Seriously, think about it. It's not really difficult, okay? And one more thing, Vivek, very interestingly, they came up with this idea of selling this dry food from different countries, and Walmart has noticed it and put it on their shelf. They are really lucky. It's amazing actually, because the story is so good, right? Everybody wants to bloody have some story rather than whether the food is good or bad. So Walmart has put their food on the table. So it's quite interesting actually, But anyway, coming back to our thing, how do I search here? Maybe they can message all the people. I don't know. Maybe it can just maybe start with all the presidents or CEOs of the companies, telling them, look, you can gift this food to all your employees, or something like that. They can actually cook for 1,000 people, it seems. And we can deliver that food to all your employees in New York. Something like that. I mean, we need to find an angle, guys. We need to find an angle. We have to find an angle so that, you're not selling, okay, order your lunch from us. That doesn't make any sense. We can also, he can order a lunch from us. But the angle has to be, Miss Mary, you're working for Cuisinart. Cuisinart has more than 500 people in this thing. We would like to treat them. If you want to do a party, here is a thing that we can deliver. Something like that, right? It is meaningful because it's refugees who are cooking it. It is charitable. It is good. The food is of variety. It can come for 10 days. Here is how it works, right? Something like that. We have to cook a story. So that is the second client, right? So there is Fryer. There is Eat Offbeat, and the third one, like I told you, is Spectralite. He's also want to start working with you guys as quickly as we can. In fact, he was so keen that he's already started working with us. He just wants to obviously so this is the third client, but I do not want to start any of you in the client unless you actually know how to win the client. He's saying he wants to start immediately. He's game and etc. In fact, he started the thing with him because I told him, look, I'll start it for you, but we'll wait for you guys to be ready. So this is another one where you can actually prepare the thing. So let's basically decide right now. So can you, Jean-Marie, would you be able to do it for one of these clients? If yes, who would you like to do this? You got 3 choices. Eat off peak.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable,
off, but
yeah. Okay. No, so choose one of these 3. Okay, but let's do this on a WhatsApp. Okay, Kisha, I want you to choose. Bahana, I want you to choose so that you prepare the first 7 slides and we can send the slides to those clients. They are not even waiting for these slides. They are saying we like it already. We'll start. But I do not want to start unless we do the work. Unless we do the work to win those clients. I want you to work towards winning your own clients. I do not want to be the person who win it for you. I hope you get the message, right? I can keep on talking to these guys. I can keep on winning them. It's a completely unsustainable model. I want each one of you to work for your own clients, present your ideas to your clients, and win them yourself.
Okay.
Is that clear?
That's great.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. Kisha, I hope you also can work on one of these clients and get that done. And Bahana, you please do it for the the other 2 things, and we'll meet next week and we'll review where we are. All right. Shall we call it a day? I think we're almost almost on time. Okay, then I'll
think
see you. Yeah. So I'll see you guys next week, Jean-Marie, Bibek, Bahana, and Shabnam.
Okay.
I'll take this and I will put it in the thing. Cool.
Thanks.